Hi everybody. I'm working on a rag wreath and I'm about a third of the way done, and I thought, well, I'm going to just show you all how I do it. I've made several of these. So I'm going to turn you around so you can watch my process. See, right there's my fabric. I've got a muslin fabric and then a print. And so what I did was I cut it into 1-inch strips. Sorry, I'm not a professional here. Anyway, and then this muslin was narrower than the other one. So I cut it in 6-inch strips, and then the printed fabric was a little bit wider, so I cut it in 6.5-inch length, and they're both cut in 1-inch strips wide. So what I'm going to do is just bring you along while I put it together. So what I do a lot of the time is I kind of fold the strip in half and then fold it in half like that. I'm going to work on the inside rail first. And I can't remember what the name of this knot is, but you just slip it through and just pull it. And I kind of like work down away from my stuff and then push it up. And so I'm going to fill up this one, and then this one. And I had in my head, I've done them completely in muslin, and they're beautiful. And then when I get done, I'm going to make probably a raggedy bow for it. But anyway, so I'm going to show you how I do it. And I just, like I said, I was doing like this and doing, I think it's called a quilter's knot, where you go like this twice and then tie it. But I didn't like the way it laid. So I thought, well, I'm going to do this. And I know the name of this. And sometimes if it feels better to me if I fold it in half and do it, because it seems like then I can poke it through there easier. And so then when I'm done, I have to decide if I want to put lights on this. And if you do lights, you want to do them from the back and poke them through randomly. But I don't have any lights currently except plug-in lights. And obviously you don't want to have to plug in something that's hanging on your door. So I have to wait and see if I can find some at the store that are with the battery pack. So when I pull these through, I try to make sure I have the two ends pretty even. And I just keep doing this. I should have put this on fast motion. Then you could have watched me do the whole thing in fast motion. But then I would have to voice over and all that. Yesterday, I was working on my my lay flat bowl cozies. And my daughter was wrapping gifts, and she lives about 8 hours away from me. And so she just FaceTimed me, and she sat there and wrapped gifts while I sat there and worked on my bowl cozies. I already had all the sewing done. I was just putting the snaps on. So that was a lot of fun. And I thought, wow, I wish I could do that more often. Seems like I got more stuff done when I had someone to visit with. So I got to thinking, well, why don't you just make a video? You haven't made a video in a while. And then you can just talk to yourself and pretend like you're talking to someone else. And then when you guys watch, I will be talking to someone else. We don't do big Christmassy stuff as far as decoration. I do put out, I have 3 nativity sets, and then I just bought another one. That was a little tiny one for $1. And so I put that out. But one of them I bought last year, or the year before. It must have been the year before. I bought it at a rummage sale from one of my old teachers. And it might have been on the giveaway table. I'm not sure. But in any case, I know that's where I got it, Mr. Rackenborn's. And it's paper. It's like a paper doll type thing. Only it's the nativity set, and it's quite a large set, and it's all there. And it was just so cool. It had to be from like the 1950s, I'm going to guess. But it's just super duper cool. All right, so I have got this one filled up. See how I've got that there? So I'm going to work on my next ring. And I'm going to go when I go to the store again, I'm going to look and see if they have the smaller wreaths, because those are kind of nice to make like different seasonal wreaths, so you don't have such a big one. Because this does take quite a while to make and quite a lot of fabric. Not that I have any problem with having fabric, but other people who make things don't have a fabric store in their sewing room like I do. Although some do. But there's a lot of people it's called sewing your stash. But I thought, well, you know what? This is kind of that. I'm crafting my stash. I'm not sewing it, but I am using my fabric, so kind of counts, doesn't it? I wish there was a way that you could put pictures in the comments, but then again, that might be a bad thing because people are weird, and I had people, I actually started this channel so that my grandkids could see what was going on around the farm and stuff like that, and I just kind of made it public. And one time I was making something or doing something, and somebody left me the rudest comment about, that was, what was I doing? Anyway, they left me this rude comment about that I had a boring voice and the subject matter wasn't exciting. And so I just replied, "Thank you for the encouragement." I thought, wow, this I didn't do this for you, person. I don't even know if it was a guy or a girl. Anyway, I just thought, wow. Have you never heard of Scroll On? Nobody forced you to sit and watch the video, because I sure don't get any monetary. I'm not monetized. For crying out loud, I don't even have 800 subscribers. I have 700 and something, which surprises me half to death, because for crying out loud, I'm just a lady that lives in an old schoolhouse that does crafts and gardening and stuff like that. Oh, I garden almost exclusively in look buckets. And those are like molasses tubs that the farmers or the ranchers they get these big giant tubs of molasses and they feed it to their cows. Anyway, so that color's done. So I'm going to go back to, I'll get back to the gardening thing in a minute. But I had this idea, because I usually do like a row of one color, a row of another color, and on like that. And I thought, well, I'm going to try and see what it looks like if it's in the middle, and I like it. Anyway, back to the tubs. So I garden almost, 99.9% of my garden is in those lick tubs. Anyway, so I have a greenhouse, one of those from Amazon. I'm going to turn this over, see if it'll make it easier. Anyway, we got the frame and everything up. My daughters built the frame for me, but we didn't put the plastic on. Well, my husband and I went out and tried to put the plastic on, and we couldn't do it. So I had carrots, beets, and cabbage planted in there. I had 20 tubs of them. Anyway, so it froze. All the foliage just froze, looked horrible. And it froze and thawed and froze and thawed several times. We're just into December now, but anyway, so I thought, well, whatever. Well, the other day we were out there and it was really nice, and we were over by the garden, by the greenhouse, and so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to pull one of those carrots and see what it looks like. Well, it looked really good. So I pulled a few more, washed them off, and I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to try it. Those things were so sweet. And I had heard that carrots could take a freezing, but I didn't know they could. I figured it in the ground, you know, but I thought in the bucket, there's no way that they're going to live, but they did. So I pulled several, and I made a stew yesterday, and we ate it yesterday and today, and it was good. We had some organic potatoes that we had bought from a friend who went out to Colorado and got them from an organic potato farmer. And I had canned up some beef stew, not beef stew, stew meat. And I had canned that up. So it was a super easy meal because I just boiled my potatoes and carrots. And then I threw my beef in. And then I thickened it with flour and water and kitchen bouquet for color. Salt and pepper. Yum, yum. So today we're having leftover steak. And so I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to make steak and shrimp. So when I get ready to go make that steak, I'm going to cook some shrimp to go along with it, because I just love taking a bite of shrimp and steak at the same time. Love it. Anyway, I'm almost to the end of this section, so I will finish it and then show you what I have accomplished while we were talking. And it looks like we're at about 13 minutes. So I already had my things, my fabric cut, so you can kind of figure out the time. And as far as how much fabric it takes, that would be some mathematical questions, because you'd have to count between each section and how many. They're an inch, and each inch makes 2, 4, 6, I believe 6 pieces. Pretty sure that's right. So you have to say, okay, this times 8 divided by 6 times 1, blah, blah. Not times 1. Anyway, but I just cut quite a bit here, and then I put it on, and then I cut some more and put it on. That way I don't end up with a ton extra. And you can actually even rip it if you like the really rustic look. I personally, this time, am not doing that. And I've done both because sometimes I'm in that mood. When I'm done with this, I don't know. It's not very Christmassy, really, but it's my mom's favorite color is blue. So this is going to be her Christmas present. So here, this is the last one on this. So flip it over. And this is the ones I just put on. And you just got to do fluffing. Of course, you're going to fluff it all the time, you know, when you're done. What do you think? So that took about 16 minutes for that one section, and there's 8 sections plus all the cutting. So anyway, there you go. You can do it with whatever fabric you have. You can go to the thrift store and buy fabric, or cut up old clothes, or whatever. I think it's pretty. Well, y'all have a nice day, and Merry Christmas if I don't see you before then. Bye.